Today, it's whatever day it is. It's April the something, and it's the, what is today?
It is Tuesday,
That's what
April
I meant to
the
say.
8th.
I knew that. I just want to make sure you knew that.
I know it.
It's April the 8th. Tuesday it is, and will be Tuesday almost all day. Hello, this is Wayne Goldsboro Television. I'm Kim Best.
And I'm Wayne Alley.
All right,
good
all kidding
morning.
aside. You know, somebody that's looking for the first time says, what?
Oh, no.
What in the world? Okay, I'm Wayne Alley. And
I'm Kim Best.
And there you go.
Good morning.
All right, thank you for being with us. I don't know, is it going to be that kind of a day?
I don't know. Maybe things will change up because I hear we've got some mighty interesting folks on today's show.
You know, seriously, we do. This is a great show. Now, the what do they call it? The MPO has
Metropolitan Planning Organization.
Has been around a long time, and a lot of people just don't know what that is.
But you know, they really are a group that come together that really look at long-term plans for all modes of transportation. And they will talk about it today, what the plans are, how you can give your input, because they're very much interested in finding out what the community wants, what their priorities are, what your concerns are, and your ideas.
And for a long time, they were misunderstood. People were thinking they were something else, and they were actually people who were demonstrating against them for some reason. That's like demonstrating against a pencil.
It just didn't make sense,
It
right?
didn't make a lot of sense to me anyway. But anyway, I think people are beginning to understand what the MPO is,
Right.
what they do, and we're going to find out more about the MPO here later today.
Yes, it was a really good interview. I really feel like this is a tremendous amount of information that they're sharing with us today. And they're going to put themselves in locations across our community in the next few weeks so you can talk with them face to face and ask your questions and share your concerns as well.
There you go. All right, it is April 8th.
Yes, it is.
Oh boy. Everybody knows about the Today Show, NBC's
yes.
Today Show, right?
Yes.
Well, it was taking over the television by storm back in the 50s. Very popular program with Dave Garroway. Peace. Very popular program with Dave Garroway. And so the other two networks decided, you know, we got to catch up
We
here.
got to do something to compete.
So on this very day, the year was 1957, goes back a few years, but in order to compete with NBC's Today Show, CBS brains all got together and got to twirling, and they put on a guy by the name of Jimmy Dean. That's right, the sausage man, put on television. Actually, I never knew about the sausage until I saw it in the grocery stores, but actually,
Really?
Jimmy Dean
So
was
you knew him as a host?
singer. Yeah.
Oh, a singer.
Well, yeah, Big Bad John. He had a
Okay.
lot of big hits back in the 50s and 60s. Big Bad John was his biggest hit.
Would we have heard that? Some of us
Should have.
should have. Okay.
Well, I guess you really have to go back. It's a song you remember. It's a ballad about a fellow
Okay.
that worked in the coal mine, and one day there was a cave-in, and there was a bunch of men trapped down below, and Big Bad John went down and rescued him and saved him, and then the mine caved in, and there was no more Big Bad John.
Okay.
Big Dead John after that.
Oh,
But
my.
Anyway, that's Jimmy Dean, very famous singer and TV star. Had his own summer show.
Okay.
Big show back in the 50s and early 60s. And was actually on, I think he was on Daniel Boone for a while.
Okay.
He and Ed Ames.
Who knew? Jimmy Dean, sausage man and singer.
Yeah. Well, he was actually a singer first. He and his brother owned this sausage company, and then they had a big fight, and it was ugly. And
There you go.
There you go. Anyway, Jimmy Dean ended up with the sausage company. Anyway, also birthday today
Yes.
for the very handsome John Gavin. That guy was born this day in 1931, and that makes him X number of years of age. And I
Right.
forget
And remind me who this is.
John Gavin ended up as an ambassador to Mexico.
Okay.
And this was not something that was just given. He's a movie star. Very tall, 6'4", dark hair, dreamy eyes. Women loved him.
Okay.
Very handsome. John Gavin. Now, he and Ron Reagan were friends in the movies, of course. And Ronald Reagan, when he became president, made Gavin ambassador to Mexico.
Oh, wow.
But there was a good reason for that. He actually had experience. His mother was from Mexico. His father was from a Spanish family.
Okay.
He grew up, and he was born and raised in Southern California, of Spanish heritage. So there was a reason he made John Gavin an ambassador. Nowadays, anybody can be an ambassador.
Okay.
It's
interesting.
Anyway, besides all that, I don't want to get political here, but he is having a birthday today. John Schneider having a birthday. He is 54 today. 54 he is.
Okay. John Schneider, is he from Starsky and Hutch?
No, he's from the Duke boys, Bo and Luke Duke, the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh.
John Schneider.
What did I say he was from?
You said Starsky
You said Starsky
Oh,
and
okay,
Hutch.
okay. Well, I meant,
Yeah.
meant Dukes of Hazzard. That's
Dukes
who I
of
was
Hazzard,
seeing in
that's
my
right,
face.
that's
The
right.
blonde-headed guy.
Blonde-headed guy.
That's what I thought.
He's also a singer.
Yeah, I've heard him sing a couple
And
times
he's
on a few
very
shows.
good. He's had some good songs. Julian Lennon, the son of John and
Right.
Cynthia. Julian is having a birthday today. He is 51. Patricia Arquette having a birthday. She was born this day in 1968.
All right. Happy birthday.
Happy, happy, joy, joy.
That's right. Wayne, we are having a Community Action Day.
Are we really?
We are. It's called Community Action Day on the April the 28th at 10 o'clock a.m. until noon. It's all about beautifying our city. They want you to pitch in. You can sign up at dgdc.org. You can come down, help them. They're going to be planting flowers. They're going to be cleaning up, just continuing to beautify our community. If you are interested, like I said, you can visit their website or you can give them a call, and that's at dgdc.org. Community Action Day, April the 26th.
Yes.
26. Got to get the date right.
Got to get the date right. All
That's
right.
right.
We need to move on here.
Yes,
We're
we
going
do.
to hear from our interviews now. Who are we hearing
This
from?
is the transportation, the MPO.
Oh, okay. Pay
So stay
attention.
with us. Joining me today is Jennifer Collins. She's the senior planner for the city of Goldsboro. We're here today to talk about planning. What is planning and what is the MPO? Thank you so much for being with us today,
Thank you.
Jennifer.
Thank you.
So can you tell me a little bit about what MPO stands for and what the purpose of this organization is?
Yes, the MPO stands for Metropolitan Planning Organization. It is a group of members from the city of Goldsboro, as well as portions of Wayne County, town of Pikeville, and village of Walnut Creek.
So these groups get together to do what exactly?
They focus their planning efforts on transportation, all modes of transportation: bike, ped, rail, aviation, public transit, highway, and we also partner with NCDOT, which is North Carolina Department of Transportation, and the
Right.
Federal Highway Association.
So with this organization, what are the duties, or what would you say, what are the goals?
We look at long-range transportation planning in order to forecast traffic and how our facilities are, look at their level of services, to make sure that we're keeping up to date with current planning and make it easy for residents to get around.
Exactly. Wow. It sounds like you all have a lot of responsibility.
We do, and it's difficult at times, but
Well,
it
tell
works
me
out.
more, if you will, about some upcoming planning events that are happening that people may see your faces, but also tell me about what is happening currently in the planning.
Currently, we're working on updating our long-range transportation plan. That is a document that has to be updated every 5 years. It's required to update by the Federal Highway Administration, and we actually have our consultant here with us today, and she'll speak more about that upcoming. And we are also currently developing a master plan for bike, pedestrian, and greenways. So that consultant's also here, so they'll give you a little information about that plan.
How do you feel that this type of planning affects our community?
It's how we get around our community. It's how we travel regionally as well as within our boundary.
And you think it's important to do exactly what you guys are talking about, planning?
Absolutely.
It's important to plan 10, 15, 20 years out.
And these documents typically help us prioritize our projects, and it gives us guidance on ways to go out and get money, get funding to actually construct some of these projects.
Excellent. In the near future, will there be websites or places that people can go to find out more about the planning?
There's going to be a project website for our bike and pedestrian plan, and then any information is available at the city's website in regards to our long-range transportation plan.
Perfect. We're excited about the planning that is taking place and about what all we can expect in the next few years, and folks will be hearing more and more about that upcoming. We have lots of guests with us here today that are all members of the MPO, or the Metropolitan Planning Organization.
That's right.
You will hear us say MPO several times, but just want to make sure everybody understands exactly what that stands for and what the purpose is of this particular group. Well, thank you, Jennifer.
Thank you.
We'll have your colleagues join us now and give us a little bit more information.
Thank
Thank
you.
you for being with us.
Thanks.
Joining me now is Matt Hayes. He is with Alta Planning and Design out of Durham, North Carolina. He is contracted with the MPO, or the Metropolitan Planning Organization. Let's find out more about this particular organization and what their goals are. Welcome to the show, Matt. Glad
Thank
to
you.
have you here in Goldsboro.
Thanks for having us.
So you are partnering and contracted with the Metropolitan Planning Organization,
correct.
which we'll refer to as MPO. Tell us, what is the job of your organization now that you have been contracted?
Sure. Our main purpose working with the MPO is to develop a bicycle, pedestrian, and greenway plan. And that involves a 9-month planning process where we will engage the public and work with stakeholders from around the MPO and the city of Goldsboro, and we're just very excited to be here.
So those are the goals of the MPO, or I would assume something very similar to that?
Yeah, I think, ultimately as planners, we really want to make sure that we're developing plans that are reflective of the community's interests and desires and needs going forward. So we try to get the community involvement to make sure that we're developing plans that build Goldsboro into the future.
Well, how will you go about getting community involvement?
Sure, we have a number of different ways to do that. Certainly we have a project website that you can access via the City of Goldsboro website. So you can get to it that way. On our website we have a comment form for people to complete. We have an interactive map. We also have Facebook and social media options as well. We're also going to get out into the community, and I think that's very important too. So there'll be a number of different ways you can get online from your computer, but also reach out and see us face to face. So we'll be at Pig in the Park coming up on April 12th. We'll have a booth there. I'm excited about that because hopefully there'll be some good eating involved as well.
There will definitely be some good eating, some good old barbecue.
we're very excited about that. So we'll have a booth there. We'll have maps. We'll have comment forms. We might have some giveaways, and we'd like to have people come by and talk to us and learn from them about what they'd like to see in Goldsboro in terms of more biking and walking opportunities.
Why do you think these plans are so important for Goldsboro? How do you think they'll impact our community?
Well, I think the planning is very important, and from our perspective, looking at bicycle and pedestrian planning, we think of the alternative modes of transportation, not just getting around by car.
Right.
We know that a number of people in this area don't have a vehicle and are dependent on walking and biking for transportation. We also know that moving forward, that it's very important that we build a community that is more walkable and bikeable. It helps to attract more residents, more businesses, quality of life improvement. So there's a lot of different benefits that we look at from a healthy, active living perspective, giving people opportunities to get out and walk and bike, but also from an economic development perspective and really understanding how we can try to attract more people into the area and get them to stay, and the quality of life is a big part of that.
Absolutely. We hear quality of life all the time, and it really is a great tool. If your community has a very high community quality of life, when young folks are thinking about moving to various communities, that's one of the assets that our community can offer if we move forward with this.
Yeah, and we're seeing that across the whole country in North Carolina, even specifically where people are really choosing to go move to communities or stay in communities where they have a lot of different access to recreation, parks, greenways and trails, that sort of thing, and that's become very popular across the state and going to be real important for retention of people and also attracting businesses.
Well, how do you feel these outcomes will attract other folks to come to Goldsboro, or how do you feel like these outcomes will long range be important for Goldsboro and our entire community?
Yeah, I think, in the long term, I think that we have to be thinking different in the future and thinking about all modes of transportation. We'll be doing this also in the Metropolitan Transportation Plan that we'll talk about here in just a minute, and looking at all modes of transportation. I think that the future is going to be having more choice in transportation, and I think that's what's going to really drive getting around in our communities, is having more choice, and that's going to involve whether it's mass transit, public transportation, whether it involves getting around in your car, walking or biking. We're going to have to look at all of those options going forward for kind of a viable economy going forward.
And for a community to have all those options can only be a positive.
It is, yeah, and and sometimes we look at just really simple things like we need a sidewalk to get you to the store.
Absolutely, yeah.
In Goldsboro, you see footpaths all over the place that are worn where people are walking on a regular basis without a sidewalk. Sometimes it's having a crosswalk to get across a road. And then sometimes it's having a greenway where you can take your family out on a bike trip and get some exercise and get some fresh air.
And we are moving forward with those. We've seen quite a bit of change in our community already. And with the MPO really taking the lead on this and moving forward with it, we're expecting a lot of change and a lot of great things moving forward for our community.
Great, and we just really want to get you all involved, so definitely get on the website, come out to our public meeting. We'll also have a planned launch on April 17th at the Boys and Girls Club, which is on Royal Avenue. from 4 to 7 p.m. on April 17th. So please come out for that.
And all this will be on our website,
This
correct?
will all be on the website. You'll get that information there, but also come by our booth at Pig in the Park, say hello, tell us where you want to see walking paths and opportunities for walking and biking in Goldsboro.
And that's the way you as a community can get involved and can share your concerns, your ideas. I'm sure you all are open for all of that. That's what
Absolutely.
this is about. This is an opportunity and a time for you to come in and share your ideas and your information and ask questions. Pig in the Park, what's the date again?
April 12th, Pig in the Park.
April
We'll be there.
12th, that's right. And then another public meeting a little bit later in April.
April 17th, it'll be a plan launch for both the Bicycle Pedestrian Greenway Plan and the Metropolitan Transportation Plan at the Boys and Girls Club. So you get a plan digest, a presentation to get more information about the plan, and plenty of opportunities to roll up your sleeves and draw on our maps and tell us what you'd like to see in your community. So.
Excellent. That's the best way to do it. Give people many opportunities to get involved. You can find out more by looking at goldsboronc.gov. You'll find the information right there, MPO or Metropolitan Planning Organization. Click on that link. All the details will be there. We'll continue to share with you opportunities for you to get involved and let us hear what you feel and what you think are good concerns for our community. Thanks for being with us, Matt.
Thank you
Glad
very
to have
much.
you in Goldsboro.
Appreciate it.
Look forward to having you here many more times.
Good to be here.
Thank you, and that's what's happening with the MPO. Joining me now is Tara Murphy. She is with the URS Corporation in Raleigh and Wilmington, North Carolina. Let's find out more about what her company does and how she's going to play a part in the planning for our community. Welcome to the show. Glad to have you here in Goldsboro.
Thank you for having us today.
Can you tell us what is an MTP?
The MTP is a Metropolitan Transportation Plan. It's basically the long-range planning document for the region that Jennifer discussed that deals with how you're going to spend your federal transportation dollars over the next 20 to 25 years. Basically, the federal government gives money to communities, and they want to know how you're planning on using it.
Absolutely, I understand that. Why do you feel it's important for our community?
It's important because it's going to set the priorities, the strategies, and planning efforts for the next 20, 25 years as to how the area is going to handle the anticipated increase in traffic.
And so there is an increase in traffic. That is a given? I mean, how are you finding this information out?
We look at the census data as well as various sources of data collection that exist currently. We also project into the future using a model, certain things like demographics, employment, land use, population changes.
Okay.
Those are
statistical numbers.
Absolutely, and that's all plugged into a model, and the model runs various scenarios to determine what projects will best handle the anticipated growth in the area.
So you're asking our community to participate and to give feedback. Why do you feel like our community should do that, and why is it so important?
It's important because you know, the folks that live in this community experience the traffic concerns and issues firsthand every day. So it's important to get the feedback so that we know what our baseline is.
Right.
And then if there are improvements, and Jennifer indicated that this is a multimodal plan, it's very important to understand that this is not just for roadway networks. This is for automobiles, this is for bicycle, pedestrian. We're working very closely with Matt Hayes and his group with regards to the bike ped plan and greenway plan. We also look at rail and freight. So it's the movement of goods and people in the community. So it's important for us to have the feedback from the community and understand what the current issues are and moving forward.
Is this a pretty much normal in every community? Does this happen a lot? I mean, do we see this type of long-range planning in your communities?
There are various metropolitan planning organizations throughout the state of North Carolina. Each of those is responsible for doing this federally mandated plan and taking a look at the community their community from a transportation network area. So it's not the only one. There's several throughout the state.
Okay. Tell us, as a community, how can we participate? Tell us some places, some activities, and ways that we can give you our concerns and our feedback.
Well, we would love to see folks come out to our booth. We are also going to be at Pig in the Park, so that's going to be super fun. We will, like Matt indicated, we will certainly have surveys available on the website. We will also have that survey in paper format. We're looking for folks to give us their comment, take that survey, which will help give us some information, you know, to plan the efforts.
And that's an opportunity also for if community members have questions, why you're doing it, more details about what you're doing, what you're thinking about doing, how it will affect us individually, how it will affect us as groups, different neighborhoods throughout our community, and what we can expect our community to look like in 25 years.
Absolutely. The feedback is really important. And if there's something that you, that the public feels is going to be a need, the best way to kind of, it takes some time to build roads and sidewalks and bicycle facilities and, increase your mass transit. So the earlier that we get information in, plans like this are imperative in order to get those kind of projects on the road. So on the ground, so to speak. So if you're looking to have a sidewalk or you're looking to have, increased lane, bring it the information to us now, because that's all got to get plugged into this plan, because from this plan the projects are prioritized, and that's how we look to fund these projects. So it's important to have it in the plan if you'd like to see something built.
Well, there you go, folks. If you're interested in giving feedback, giving information, if you have ideas about what you would like to see happen here in your community, these are several opportunities that you can come out and give your feedback. Pig in the Park. Come talk to them face to face.
And then the public launch is important on the 17th. We're looking for as many
April 17th.
Folks to come out to that as possible. You'll kind of get a 2-for-1 because you'll hit the Bike Ped Greenway Survey as well as the Metropolitan Transportation Plan. So your input that day would be fantastic.
Now, where will that one take place?
That'll take place at the Boys and Girls Club.
Perfect. All this information you can find on the City of Goldsboro's website at goldsboronc.gov. Click on the link that says MPO, or Metropolitan Planning Organization. You can find out more about all these details they've given today and much, much more. Thank you, Tara, for being with us. We appreciate it. We look forward to having you in Goldsboro very soon.
It's our pleasure. Thank you.
And that's what's happening with the MPO.
Wow, there you go. A lot of information there about the MPO and the work they're doing here in Wayne County.
That's exactly right. And they talked about how you can see them this weekend at the Pig in the Park, at Waynesboro Park. They'll have a booth set up. They want you to come over, give them your feedback, give them ideas if you have some, on what you think would be a great transportation move for our community.
And if you don't have a feedback...
A feedback?
Oh, feedback.
I said feedback.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
I never promised you a rose garden.
Okay. Enough of that. Anyway, that's going to be a lot of fun.
It certainly is.
That's the Pig in the Park.
That's right.
All right.
Also put on their calendars, what's it called? Pickle Festival, North Carolina Pickle Festival.
Yeah, the North
coming
Carolina.
Up
yes,
soon.
oh boy.
It is their 28th annual, and it is April 25th, 26th, and then they're closing out on the 27th. Right there in Mount Olive, North Carolina. You don't want to miss it. I mean, tons of people, lots of activities, always something fun and exciting. I heard a little bit about diving into cakes, all kinds of crazy things.
Whoa.
You'll have to stay tuned. Julie Beck from the Mount Olive Chamber of Commerce will be on soon talking about that. Lots of exciting things. A lot of their classic events will be there as well.
Diving into cakes, huh?
It's unusual, but you never know. There's a reason for it.
I'm sure.
I'm
sure there is. Knowing Julie Beck.
So mark your calendars.
I do know this, that the Shriners will also have a booth set up at the Pickle
Oh,
Festival.
good.
They're
Okay.
going to be set up taking applications for people whose children may need medical help. Okay,
That is an excellent place
really
to
is.
set up, because we're expecting between 30 and 40,000 folks
Great
based
day.
on, past history. So that's perfect location.
Also on the 28th, now allow me to read this,
Mm-hmm.
the East Point Geriatric Adult Mental Health Specialty Team is offering caregiver classes at the Peggy M. Seeger Senior Center. The classes are held on the fourth Monday of each month, beginning at 5:30 p.m., going for an hour. This month's class will be on April 28th, beginning at 5:30. These are hour-long classes geared for those who are caring for or have interest in the geriatric population, which is older
Wow,
adults.
absolutely.
Very important. Classes are free of charge. 1 hour of continuing education will be given for each participant at the end of the class. The topic of this month will be Safety First, Working with Aggressive Behavior. Again, there's no charge or age requirement for this class.
So anybody can come
Anybody
to the
can
Senior
come.
Center.
If you would like to know more about this caregiver class, call Erin at 705-1785.
Wonderful.
919-705-1785. Very
It's
important.
much needed.
Yes,
many
it is.
many of us will end up in that situation where you're taking care of one of your parents, and you really need to be guided in a lot of these things of what to expect.
And I'll tell you, I've been through this, and a lot of people have been through it. People who have mental issues pop up later in life.
Right.
Some people are taken by surprise at the aggressive behavior or at the change in behavior
change,
of the older
absolutely.
adults as they're affected with mental conditions. You really need to know what to expect. And when you need to know what to expect, you can better handle it, I promise.
That's right.
So let's do this again tomorrow, okay? We'll be here tomorrow. Join us again at 7 a.m. for this program, Wayne Goldsboro Television. And then it repeats at noon, then again at 5:30, and then again later in the evening. So until then, I'm Wayne Alley.
And I'm Kim Best, and this is what's happening in your community.